All right, UFC Freedom 250, the White House card took place last night. And let's just say that the aura is over. Alex Pereira and Ilia Topuria both lost all their aura last night, in my opinion. And I think in most of the people's eyes, they just lost it all. We'll get to the co-main and the main event. But let's go over the card. And I did take some notes on this one, so let's get right into it. The opener of the card, there were no prelims, so it was just the main card. The opener of the main card was a featherweight bout, Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia. Diego Lopez won in the second round by TKO. The first round, let's just read the notes I have for the card. So Lopez versus Garcia. Garcia won the first round, in my opinion, controlled the pace and jabbed and point scored his way through the round. Lopez threw single punches and no combinations, tried to stay on the outside, and it wasn't working well for him. We all know Lopez thrives in the pocket, clanging and banging type thing. Second round, they mixed up the combos more and stayed in the pocket, and Lopez caught him twice, dropping him the second time and finishing him with ground and pound for the second round TKO. And may I say, Diego Lopez probably has one of the best photos from the entire White House card. This guy just takes good photos. He gets put in positions, and he takes amazing pictures. And he probably had the best picture of the night of him standing on top of the wall of the cage directly in front of the White House. Got to admit, it was a very badass shot. Second fight of the night was a middleweight bout, Bo Nickal and Kyle Daukaus. Bo Nickal got the round one TKO with 30 seconds left on the clock. Nickal versus Daukaus. Bo got an early takedown and just hugged on the ground with Bo on top, and the ref stood them up after 3.5 minutes of just a couple of elbows from Bo. So not a bunch of crazy activity, no real submission threat, nothing on the ground from Bo. Seconds after being stood up, Bo Nickal scored a good knockdown and poured it on while he was down and got a good TKO in the first round over Kyle Daukaus. So wasn't, in my mind, a great fight. I know we all thought the same thing when Bo got the takedown. It was a very solid takedown. Bo got the takedown. I know we were all thinking, well, shit, there goes this fight. It's just going to be hugging on the ground. But for some reason, they stood it up, and thank God they did, because once they stood it up, it was seconds later he got the TKO finish. So good job from Bo Nickal. Now, I also have it in my notes. I never caught an explanation why this happened, but Tyson Fury had a walkout. Tyson Fury just had like a walkout from the White House, like he was one of the fighters. And I have it written down, Tyson Fury walkout, what the fuck? Like I don't know the purpose behind it, what it was even for. It's an MMA event, and you've got one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time just walking out like he's one of the fighters. I don't know, didn't make sense. I didn't get an explanation. Next was a lightweight bout between Mauricio Hufi and Michael Chandler. It was a round one TKO with 30 seconds left by Hufi. I think we can all agree that Michael Chandler is one of the best, worst fighters of all time. I think we really enjoy watching him fight. There's not much technique. I think he's 2-6 or some shit in the UFC since he came in 2019 or 2020 or something like that. His only victories coming from his debut of Dan Hooker, and then a like straight kick up the middle Anderson Silva style knockout of a very old and slow Tony Ferguson. Those are his only 2 wins in the UFC. And yeah, I get that it's great watching him fight, but he's just not good. Like there's not a lot of technique. There's nothing crazy about him. His power is not even all that great, but I think he was just an extremely overhyped fighter. And Hufi just put it on him. Hufi put on a clinic, pretty much. What I have written down is Chandler running around, not doing much. He did not do much. The only significant strike that Chandler landed in that fight was like a Superman punch off the octagon. It was pretty clean. Didn't do no damage, but it landed good. Hufi kept landing spinning back kicks. They were blocked most of the time, but he finally caught him just a little bit on the back of the head around the glove with one of the spinning back kicks and fucked him up pretty much. Chandler got wobbled a little bit, and Hoofy just came in for the TKO and fucked him up with 30 seconds left in the first round. So good TKO from Hoofy. Not going to lie to you guys, I would really like Chandler to retire, sail off into the sunset. Don't chase the Conor fight. Don't do none of this. Just sail off into the sunset with your family and call it a career. You know, you were never a great champion, but you were an entertaining fighter, and you fought the who's who, kind of. So just sail off into the sunset. I don't think there's anything left for him in the UFC. And after that, we had the heavyweight bout of Josh Hokett and Derek Lewis, which ended in the second round via TKO by Josh Hokett. Now, I got to say, I wanted Derek Lewis to win just because I love Derek Lewis. I feel like if I were a betting man and had to put money on that fight, I would have went with Josh Hokett. He's way faster. He's way smaller. If you watch that fight, you've seen because Josh Hokett weighed in of 231 and Derek Lewis weighed in at 265. So I would be willing to bet you Derek Lewis was at least 275 come fight night, because it seemed like he had to cut almost to make 265, which is crazy. Because he has fought leaner. He's had visible abs before. He didn't really have visible abs this fight. Maybe a little bit if you look close enough, but he's not the best shape he's ever been in. But, you know, we know Lewis can land that shot. He's got the most knockouts in UFC history. So we know that Derek can land that shot and put anybody away, but it did not happen. Hokett was too fast, too alert, and he really didn't take – I expected Josh Hokett to take Derek Lewis down and just ground and pound or submit his way to victory, because that's the easiest way to go with Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis hates to wrestle. He hates to go to the ground. He's not very dangerous there. So I just assumed that was Hokett's best bet, and that's what he was going to do. But he didn't. He stood and banged with him, and he was just faster, more alert, in and out, and he ended up getting it. But what I have written down for Derek versus Hokett is first round is Hokett landing the 1-2. Lewis not doing much, just a couple swings, not really landing. Hokett took Lewis down and just beat him up for most of round 1. Lewis just rolled around on the ground, literally just rolled around like he's starting to look like Daniel. He's starting to look like DC out there, just fat, all gut, rolling around. Round 1 ended with the worst armbar I've ever seen. It really did. Josh Hokett had Derek Lewis in a completely locked-in armbar for like 20, 25 seconds. I mean, it was the longest time I've ever seen anyone in an armbar, and Derek Lewis was just sitting there chilling. Like, he wasn't even in pain. He was just, like, chilling. Hokett finished Derek by TKO in the second round. Derek basically quit to strikes and fell to TKO. So they were standing and banging, and Hokett started to land some really good shots. He was jumping in and out a lot faster than Derek. And Derek pretty much got wobbled on the feet, and he kind of gave up, got hit again, went down, and finished the ground and pound strikes from Hokett. Good fight. I was wrong on that one. My pick was Lewis. The next fight was a bantamweight bout between Sean O'Malley and Amin Zahabi that finished in the second round via TKO by Sean O'Malley. Now, this was a very entertaining fight. Sean was pushing for the TKO during the build-up, and he claimed he was going for the knockout over Amin Zahabi. And Amin Zahabi was talking about wrestling. Let's just say Amin Zahabi looked terrible. I think he looked absolutely terrible in this fight. Now, I can say that at this point, I was so involved in the fights, I didn't actually write anything down. I took no notes after this because I was just so involved and focused in the fights. But I think Zahabi just looked terrible. He didn't land like any significant strikes on O'Malley, and O'Malley was kind of touching him up here and there, landing the jabs, the hooks, just a little bit. Not much kicking from O'Malley, but a lot of kicks from Zahabi. And I'm not going to lie, I was getting really worried about the kicks because they weren't like super hard kicks from Zahabi, but every time Zahabi got close to O'Malley, he was throwing a leg kick. It was like a sloppy leg kick, but they were landing most of the time. And I was really getting worried about those leg kicks piling up. But even if they were piling up and he was in pain, maybe the third or fourth, those leg kicks would have really started to affect O'Malley. But he got Amin Zahabi out of there before the leg kick started to affect his movement. He landed like a clean 1-2 and kind of dropped Zahabi like halfway down, and then went in with a clean right as Zahabi was getting back up. So he was like halfway up, and he landed a clean right, and he went limp for just a second. Before Zahabi even hit the canvas, O'Malley was like already in like a salute. Like he hit him, he went down, and he salute like he tried to walk off KO. So it's like, I think they really, really, really wanted KOs and TKOs for this card. So I feel like it was kind of like, I kind of thought it was an early stoppage until they showed the replay. And after O'Malley did the salute and walked off, Zahabi tried to get up and kind of like fell over and face planted. So it was a legit stoppage, and Zahabi, he was pretty out. So I thought it was a premature stoppage, but then I saw the replay of Zahabi try to get up and protest, and he like fell to his face. So overall, good stoppage. Sean O'Malley back in the win column, back in the TKO win columm. He called out Petr Yan. He did mention that he thinks Petr's got to fight Merab again, but he wants Petr because he does have a victory over Petr. Whether you think he beat him or not, he got the victory over Petr, and he called for that fight. The next fight was a heavyweight title bout. Now, I actually dozed off right before this fight and woke up as it was ending. But what can I say? Ciryl Gane put the heavyweight power on him. I don't think Alex looked that good. He didn't look that fast. I don't know. He just didn't look motivated or something to me because I went back and rewatched it. He just didn't look that motivated. And Ciryl Gane to me actually looked faster, more on the toes than Alex Pereira did. And that was very shocking to me. My prediction was Pereira by KO. I thought that power would go up with him and he would just show these guys what's up because I'm on the Pereira hype train. And I would go for Pereira over anybody pretty much. But it didn't happen. Gane landed a jab that dropped Alex, and he got back and he was throwing, I don't know, I'd have to go back and count, maybe like 10, 12 elbows and strikes to the back of Alex's head. I feel like that's just legal for Gane. Like, he's special and he's allowed to throw back of the head shots. I hate that that's the way it is, but it just is. And I'm extremely impressed there was no eye poke. So I hope somebody told him, look, if we have another fight stop from an eye poke, you're fucking out of here. I hope, because that shit ruins events so quick. Or if it didn't and he eye poked Alex and Alex chose to fight through it and he beat Alex because Alex couldn't see, that's just something that Alex would have to live with, that he couldn't see, and that's why he lost, not because he wasn't the better fighter. But there was no eye pokes. I was very happy about that. And I think Gane just beat him because Gane's a true heavyweight, and I was wrong. I thought Pereira was going to get it, but Gane got it. Regardless of all the back-of-the-head strikes, I really hate that. But regardless of all the back-of-the-head strikes, Gane got it done. So it looks like we are going to see Gane and Tom Aspinall 2. Good fight, little upset, but I'm happy it was a good fight. The main event, the lightweight title between Ilia Topuria and Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje gets it done. And you may not think this, but I sure do. I don't even think Justin Gaethje looked that good, guys. I really don't think Justin looked that good. I don't think Justin is nowhere near as hungry as he was when he first came in. Of course, he's aged. He's late 30s. Me personally, I just knew that Ilia was going to go out there and masterclass Justin Gaethje. I just knew it. I just knew Ilia was going to go out there and put him to sleep easy. I just knew that in my heart of hearts. So this one really upset me. I'm over it now. I'm not upset now because it was truly a great card, great fight. I have nothing against Justin. I just think he's a bar fight. He's not really a technique guy, and I'm just happy for him. I'm happy for Justin. He got it done. Win or lose, I thought Justin should retire. I still think he should retire. He should retire the champion, go out on top after that performance, because he definitely was not showing that hunger that he has showed in other fights in his career. He has been through some wars now. He's been knocked out. And I am very, very impressed that he was not knocked out during this fight, because Ilia landed some bombs on him. He landed some real bombs. And he did crumple down and get dropped from body shots to the liver. Ilia was pouring on some of the best body shots I have ever seen in a UFC fight. I mean, they were fucking insane body shots, and they were landing clean. And he dropped Justin Gaethje. And that was at the end of the second. Not the end of the second. It was like 2 minutes left in the second. Ilya dropped him to body shots, and he got on top. Barely did any ground and pound. Went for an inverted triangle. He went for an arm bar. They were just kind of hugging around for a minute. And in those minute and a half that Justin was on the ground and Ilya was on top, Ilya completely gassed himself out. Like, he just completely gassed out. And in the third round, Justin came out, and I think Ilya threw like 15 strikes in the third round versus like 50 in the second. So Ilya was definitely gassed. He definitely put everything he had into trying to get that finish, which I don't know why he didn't just go to ground and pound. I think ground and pound would have worked, but for some reason he just didn't. He tried submissions, and he just put so much into it. He just completely gassed out, and I could see it. In the third round, Justin came out and was jabbing the fuck out of Ilya. Just jab, 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 jab. Landed a couple right hands that didn't drop Ilya to his butt, but he sunk down, not to a knee, but he just sunk down to a squat position and then got flattened out, face down on the bottom by Justin in a north-south position. I was kind of worried that Justin was going to get him in an arm and neck triangle choke for a minute, but he didn't get it done. They ended up going through the third round. At the end of the third, I think it was Gaethje up 2-1 round. I think the only round that Ilya won was the second, so the first and third round was all Gaethje. And the fourth round was the same thing. Just jabbing, hitting, Ilya not doing much. Ilya is gassed out at this point, barely recovered, and Gaethje is just kind of putting it on him, taking him. Gaethje handled his power very well. I was very impressed, very happy for Gaethje that he got that done. And I was against him. I didn't think he was going to do it, but he did it. And at the end of the fourth, I think it was 3-1. Gaethje was up. I think Gaethje won 3-1 versus Ilya. And at the very end of the fourth round, like right before the bell, they were on the ground in a north-south position, both of them face down. And right before the bell rang, Justin landed an insane knee to the left side of Ilya's body. And I think that right there is what's finished the fight. If you watch that replay in slow-mo, it was such a bad knee to the body. It was so bad, right in the ribs of Ilya. And you could see as he was walking to the stool in the corner, you could see when he sat down, you could hear his corner saying, "We're going to finish the fight, we're going to finish the fight." And next thing you know, the ref walked out and ended it, and Justin Gaethje's the new lightweight champion. So I don't even think that Justin looked that good. I just think that Ilya thought he was going to go out there, no technique, eat Gaethje's punches, no respect for Gaethje, and just flatline him. And he sure tried, but it did not work. Ilya was just walking into jab after jab after jab after jab, and it was opening up. It was opening up both of his eyes. If you look at pictures of him after a couple rounds, he was just fucked up. Gaethje just had a little technical issue there, but we're going to get past that. So, yeah, Gaethje was just walking into the strikes, jab, 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 really getting busted up. Barely any damage on Justin Gaethje's face at the end of the fight, and Ilya was, completely busted up and fucked up. His nose was huge. Both of his eyes were almost shut. But, man, happy for Justin Gaethje. What a fucking card the UFC was. Every single fight was a TKO. Technically, the Ilya and Gaethje fight wasn't a TKO, but who's complaining about that fight? It was absolutely ridiculous. So, man, great card. I give it like a 9 out of 10. Press conference could have been better, but other than that, I think the White House event was a success. It was definitely way better than I expected that it was going to be. I'm upset about Ilya, but I don't know. He talked all that shit about Gaethje swinging and banging and having no technique and no game plan, and his power did not put out Gaethje, and I believe his technique was terrible in that fight. So, best thing for Ilya to do is just come out and say, I did not respect Gaethje. I overlooked him. I made a mistake. He was the better man on that night, and next time I will be better. That's the best thing he can do, is just own it like a man, come back. I think he'll be forgiven if he owns it. If he owns his fuck up, shows all the respect and honor to Justin because he deserves it, and just moves on. I do think that this ruins the hype for the Islam fight. My confidence has dropped way down that Ilya would beat Islam. My confidence was through the roof that Ilya would KO Islam, but now it is not. It is not as high as it was, and I don't think that fight is going to happen anymore. But we'll see what they do with Ilya. He needs some time off. He needs to relax after that. That was, he'd been through the divorce and everything mentally, and now he's took all the physical damage. He needs some time to recover and relax and come back full and new. So that's it for the White House card, guys. Great event. I loved it. It had me on the edge of my seat most of the night. And that's my reaction to it. So I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.